And here to talk about this breaking news and this trade, we have our very own Jamie Eisenberg. So, Jamie, when you first heard the trade details here, were you shocked? Something you were expecting? I feel like there were some murmurs about Claypool and the Steelers. So, what are your initial reactions to this trade?
A little surprised. I think, give the Bears credit for trying to build around their young quarterback.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, So while it might seem like a little overpay to give a second-round pick for Chase Claypool, like you said, the last couple of years have been a little disappointing. The hope would be is that you're giving him a fresh start and a fresh start with a quarterback that's on the rise. And certainly that's what we've seen from Justin Fields the last few weeks. He's starting to play a lot better, certainly from a fantasy perspective. So you like to see a team try to give a young quarterback some weapons. We've seen it with Josh Allen getting Stephon Diggs. The Dolphins did that with Tua Tagovailoa, giving him Tyreek Hill and drafting Jalen Waddle. So give the Bears some credit. Again, it's probably a little too much for a guy that hasn't lived up to the expectations that he was with Pittsburgh as a rookie. But hopefully the next year and a half, which is where he's under contract for, that this could be a go-to guy for this Bears offense.
And also, I want to talk about the Bears and their pass catchers. Who does it help? Who does it hurt when we're talking about that?
Well, this isn't a high-volume passing attack. They typically hover around the 23-25 pass attempt range, which is not what we like to see for a high-volume passing offense. So you see the names here. Clearly, the guy on the left of Claypool, or depending on how you look at it, Darnell Mooney, is the one that will probably lose a little bit because he's been the go-to guy for Justin Fields and certainly this Bears passing attack the last two seasons. Equinemius, St. Brown, Dante Pettis, Cole Kmet, they've just been guys so far. So Mooney will probably lose a little bit, but now the hope would be is that you're making this move to throw the ball more, to open up the offense a little more, not just lean on David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert and the running backs. And so give Justin Fields the opportunity to prove that he could be the guy. Give Claypool the opportunity to live up to draft compensation that you're giving up, and hopefully that will just elevate Mooney as well. So I think Mooney kind of levels out to about where he should be, which is a number 3 fantasy receiver. Chase Claypool will probably be in a similar range. I still would favor Mooney over Claypool because of his familiarity in the offense and his rapport with Justin Fields, but Claypool could come in and shatter that right away.
Sure. And also, you kind of touched on it with Justin Fields trying to build around the younger quarterback. I mean, on Monday Night Football against the Patriots, it was like this unrecognizable offense that we saw, losing last week to the Cowboys. But moving forward, do you think that they'll build some chemistry? Does that mean that Justin Fields, is a must start?
He's looking comfortable, and that's a nice thing. For fantasy purposes, what he does with his legs is better than what he does with his arm right now. But again, you're giving him a piece to now showcase him as a passer. And we certainly saw that at Ohio State. He was a very dominant, passing quarterback. It wasn't just he was a, as our guy Pete Prisco would say, a runaround guy. He has that ability. He's shown you that. But the hope would be is that now we start to see him get his skills showcased as a passer. And so giving him another weapon, a proven weapon, a guy that has put up some numbers in this league, that's the next evolution of what Justin Fields can become. So his next 3 games, starting with Miami this week, are fantastic. He might just be the start of the week for week number 9, so I like the setup for him getting an additional weapon like Chase Claypool. So all systems go, rocket ships pointing up for Justin Fields for the next few weeks.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the Bears and Justin Fields. Now I want to move on to the Steelers. I mean, struggling, to say the least, not somewhere that Mike Tomlin is used to being. But how does this impact the Steelers' offense? I mean, Kenny Pickett, we had Mitch Trubisky, a lot of just a struggle there in general. So what does this mean for them moving forward?
I hope it's addition by subtraction because, when you look at what this offense has been, there's just a lot of moving parts. And so you like to have a lot of talent, and Kenny Pickett, I'm sure, does not want to lose a player like Chase Claypool.
Right.
But for our purposes, now you get some of these targets funneled to some of these premier playmakers. So Deontay Johnson should hopefully start to play a little bit better. The targets have been there for him. The production is not. George Pickens has really benefited with Kenny Pickett. The rookie rapport has been nice to see. But again, now both those guys should be getting more targets. Same with Pat Freiermuth. So, that's the nice thing is that you're removing a good player, but now hopefully these great players can start to get the production that we've been waiting for. So I'm excited now a little bit more about Deontay Johnson and George Pickens. We had some conversation on our podcast on our Fantasy Football Today on CBS Sports HQ about maybe dropping some of these receivers. Don't do that now because now there's more concentrated targets coming and hopefully a lot of better production as well.
Okay, and just to kind of get back to Claypool, we've seen obviously a lot of trades, of course, with that deadline approaching and everything. Do you think he starts right away against the Dolphins, or even if he does start, is it going to take some time to kind of get used to that offense? How do you think it's going to shake out moving forward, I guess, especially for Sunday?
I think if you put it in perspective, so Christian McCaffrey was traded on a Thursday and, showed up on Friday, barely played on Sunday. This now gives him the opportunity to get there before Wednesday, which is typically when, teams put in their preparation for the coming week, So he should be able to go and hopefully give them, a full complement of snaps. You showed the names of the other guys before, So if I'm, the coaching staff there and I'm Justin Fields and I'm saying, okay, Equinemius, you're a nice player. Dante Pettis, you're a good guy, but we got this guy for a second-round pick. He's proven at times to be a successful player in this league. Let me have him on the field right away. And so You know, you talked about this. Roquan Smith has just been traded. They traded Robert Quinn a couple weeks ago. This defense is just going to bleed points to the other side. The Dolphins' offense is going to be great. So hopefully they start to play a little bit better offensively from Chicago's perspective. We get these back and forth types of games. Fantasy managers love that. So I do think that'll play. To what extent, I don't know, but I think he'll play enough that you could start him this week as at least a number 3 receiver. Remember, 6 teams on a bye, so a lot of talent missing in the NFL.